Evening everybody. Tonight I'm bringing you round 2 of the NGR CHewitt Racing Mini Cooper Cup. So it was round 1 last weekend from Dragon Trail Seaside and round 2 tonight from Suzuka East. So this is the short course version, as you can see on your screen there. Excuse me. Oh, apologies. So this is the short course, so only the start finish straight around the first corner through the S's, and instead of turning left at Dunlop they turn right, so they miss out 130R, they miss out the spoon curve and all that. It's, as you can see on the track, it's just this was a short track. So evening everybody, NGR Cuddles evening mate, 1805 evening, Dragon Eagle evening, Veline Official, Bonsai Bob, evening, Jake Carty evening, F124 evening, who else we got, Bogus, Begbie evening, so I believe we're about to start quali. It's a 15-minute quali, and then 2 short races, one of 15 minutes and one of half an hour. This first round and second round are just qualification rounds for the actual series, so we are about to jump into quali. Settings being changed there. So we've got 1 or 2 on track. Hunty the Punty, evening my friend. How you doing? Thank you for subbing. So, what was I doing? Yeah, I was going on track. Let's see who's out there. Got some stuff on. Usual thing. Blammo. So who have we got out on track at the minute? Just F124 and Bogus Begbie at the minute. Let's see if we can get on board with F124. Here we go. So on board with F124 then, just starting quali, so that's where the track changes, it turns right there instead of left, back onto the start finish straight, missing out 130R and spoon, and casino chicane as well, full tilt and down the start finish straight, he starts a new lap. This one you can always give it full power into, then you've got to get it right, brake hard for this one. Not running it too wide. And through the S's now. Again, you can keep a lot of power on through here. F124 then doing a good job at the minute. So there is going to be a 5-minute delay to quali for some reason. I don't know why that is. That has just popped up on the chat there. So let's jump on board with somebody else. Let's go and have a look who else is out there. Bogus Begbie is now out on track. Hunty the Punty, the man who should be racing, not talking to me. Velian Official. So all the guys have had liveries assigned. They're all liveries that are actually in the Mini Cup series, not the sim racing one, the actual genuine real life mini racing series. So a couple of guys still in the pits then, 1805 and NGR Cuddles. As I say, there is going to be a 5-minute delay to quali. One or two guys, I think, forgot about the update maybe. So Jake Carty, I don't think I've seen him in the lobby at all. And Hunty the Punty, he's in here as well, new driver. good friend of CJW. CJW is actually hosting Lobby 1 as well, so there are another bunch of guys racing around this same track in the minis. These first two races, last week and this week, were our qualification races for the upcoming league. Don't know whether the points carry over or not. So Hunty the Punty then puts himself up into third. On fourth now. F124 at the front, holding top spot. 57.3 for F124. He's a good driver, F124. I've seen him race a few things, and he seems to be able to hold it together no matter what he's driving. So one of the guys just going slightly off track in the background. I think it was Bogus Begbie just getting on the grass onto the start-finish straight. So losing a bit of time there. That won't be a quick lap for him. Vili Unofficial currently holding second spot, 57.9. It was some good racing last week in these minis. It seems to work. These slightly less powered cars on these shorter courses works really well. So Bogus Begbie then in third, 58.3 currently for him. Hunty the Punty we've just seen did grab third, but has now been pushed down to fifth by Bogus Begbie and Boonseye Bob. I'll try and get your name right tonight. This mate's Boonseye or Bob. Let's see if we can get that going. Dragon Eagle. Again, I know this guy, seen him race a few times. He was heavily involved in the charity, Kika charity event we did at the beginning of August. So that was a 7.5 hour stream. Myself and Potter McPot did. There was 3 races of 2 hours round at Le Mans. And it was all the same drivers, and they stuck it out for a full 6 hours, even though it was split between three races. Evening 1805 Games, how you doing? Again, that's another guy who should be driving and not watching the stream, but it seems like a lot of the guys do that. I don't know whether they're listening to have updates on themselves or updates on the other drivers. So qualifying hasn't started. Oh, F124 then playing with the handbrake just because qualifying's about to start. So it's a 15-minute quali. So nobody out on track yet. Back out on track. See the Punty stopping in the pits. So let's see what Vili Unofficial's got then. I hope I'm saying your name right, mate. Cheers, buddy. Going on, Dragon Eagle's in second spot and he's still in the pits. So no hot laps in at the minute. Just dropping the link on the next gen page. Just excuse me 1 second. Come on, learn to spell. Paste that link in there. And blammo, post. There we go. Right. So we've been on board with Hunty the Punty. So 135 on an outlap. As I say. So let's have a look at Vilian then as he comes across the line. First of the hot lappers, a 58.2 for him. So he's down into second. F124 takes top spot. 57.4 for F124. really unofficial with that 58.2, so I'm sure we can see better from him. Bogus Begbie 59.2. Oh, so just getting it a bit wide there, dipping a wheel on the grass. And nearly losing it then, Bogus Begbie. So really unofficial then, been pushed to third. Hunty the Punty then into second with a 58.2. Really unofficial, he's still got about half a second. Oh, I was going to say he's got half a second. But he has just bettered his time. Oh no, sorry, no he's not. That's the wrong, looking at the wrong guy. 58.5 for 18.05. NGR Cuddles then 58.6 for Cuddles. Boone's Eye 59.2. Again, just dipping a couple of wheels on the grass. It's enough to put these minis all over the place. Bogus Begbie then 59.2 for Bogus. Dragon Eagle 59.8 for Dragon. Jake Carty 1 minute 0.6 for Jake. So 9 in the lobby at the minute. F124 still holding that top spot, 57.4 on the second lap. NGR Cuddles then, he's pushed himself up into second with a 58.0. Again, another one just running wide on that last turn to the start-finish straight. Oh, that's the wrong corner, apologies. So it is a bit of a tough one if you're coming in there hot. The first corner is quite easy, the first sort of apex, but the second one is a little bit difficult to get right. Bogus Begbie then popped himself into second with a 57.9. So Hunty then all the way down into fifth at the minute, 58.2 for him. 18.05 in sixth, 58.5. Boone's Eye, 58.9 now for Boone's Eye. So that's good for seventh. Dragon Eagle 59.6, again bettered his time. Jake Carty, he's still got that 1 minute 6. So this is only a 15-minute quali, and then we drop into the first race of this evening. Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much. YouTube Unbeatable 01. Flipping it took me a while to figure what that said for a minute. Cheers for subbing and stopping by, mate, and watching. So F124 then, still 57.4 for F124. Half a second up from his nearest competitor, Bogus Begbie, who's actually reversing down the track. So I'm not sure what's going on there with Bogus. 18.05 has pushed himself up into third now, so nudging NGR Cuddles down another spot, so 58.0 for 18.05. NGR Cuddles still 58.0 for NGR. Hunty the Punty bettered his time again, 58.015 for Hunty. 5 thousandths behind NGR Cuddles, so everything to play for Hunty. Filian Official down in 6th now, 58.0. Bob has bettered his time again, a 58.1 for Boone's Eye. Dragon Eagle, again he's bettered his time, a 58.9. Jake Carty as well, a 1 minute 0.74. Nice, Hunty, you've got a supporter. YT Unbeatable 01 is bigging you up, mate, so better do better than 5th. We've got a lot of off-road action going on, so I'm not sure what's going on here, whether they decided to turn it into a bit of a rallycross event. A couple of guys just off track there. So I thought we'd lost Jake Carty for a second, but nope, he just wasn't showing up on my screen. So halfway through quali then. So Jake just running it wide. Again, difficult corner to get right. F124 still managed to better that 57.4. But still holds P1 on the grid. 18.05 then, 57.5 for 18. That's second place comfortably for him at the minute. Cuddles is in the pits. No time on the board for him at the minute. Hunty then up to 4th, 57.9 for Hunty. So it looks like he was listening. Bogus Begby just off track. He's in 5th now, 57.9 for Bogus. He's doing right, he was holding 2nd on the grid. Vilian Official then been pushed down into 6th. 58.0 for Vilian. Boonzai still holding that 7th, 58.1 for him. Dragon Eagle still holding 8th place with 58.5. Jake Carty now in the pits as well. So yeah, it was some good racing last week. The video is available if you fancy going to watch that, but not yet. Wait till after this. There is 2 lobbies open tonight. That's one thing I've not put on the actual stream. There are 2 lobbies open tonight. So CJW Racing on YouTube has got lobby 1. He's live streaming that, and I've got lobby 2. So 2 lobbies for you. I'm not sure if there's a third actually. If there is a third, I don't know who's streaming that. 18.05 just ghosting out there, losing his penalty. So no position changes on the grid at the minute. Into the punty then, that 57.9. Yeah, everyone kind of found their speed at the minute. Unable to better their times again. Jake Carty then coming back out the pits. So as I say, this is round 2 of the Mini Cooper CHewitt Cup. Last week we were at Dragon Trail Seaside. Some good racing from there. Tonight we're at Suzuka East track, so this is the short track this evening. So it only consists of the start-finish straight, first curve, the S's, and instead of turning left at Dunlop, they turn right and back onto the start-finish straight, so they miss out all the iconic corners. 130R, spoon curve, and casino triangle. So 18.05 still holding that 57.5. He's not that far back from F124. He could easily make that up with a good lap. Punty in 4th still. Bogus Begby. Dragon Eagle then's pushed himself up into 6th. 58.0 for Dragon Eagle. That's nudged Vilian and Boonzai down. Jake Carty then. So he was holding a 1:0. So he's got a few minutes left to try and better that. F124 then, he's not managed to get anywhere near that. He's trying. He's still a few tenths off that fast lap of his, that 1:57. Oh, again, just running it wide there. So it can happen to the best of them. Just got to remember your braking points. I don't know how loose these minis are. I've never actually driven them. Cheers, buddy. That's a nice thing to say on the old stream there. Oh, get yourself online. Come and have a race. There's plenty of groups out there, mate. We're all pretty friendly. We don't bite. We like a bit of banter. Well, most of us. But most of all, we just want clean, fair racing. That's what these groups are all about, really. I think they've all raced in the dailies, got fed up with the idiots in there, and decided that, well, someone's decided that making a group on Facebook, you know, someone's obviously raced against a couple of people. Thought, you're alright, I'll race against you next week, set up a Facebook group, and here we are. So, has any been position changes? No, currently everyone's still in the same spot. So F124 in top spot, 1805 in second, NGR Cuddles in third, Hunty the Punty in fourth, Bogus Begbie in fifth, Dragon Eagle in sixth, Filian Official in seventh, Bullseye Bob in eighth, and Jake Carty in ninth at the minute. So just a couple of minutes left of quali, and then we're into the first of 15-minute races, and then we've got half an hour race after that. Reverse grid of the first race. Tyres squealing around there, F124, and he rags on the handbrake going across the line. So he must be happy with that 57.4 of his. So 1805, then he must be happy with his 57.5 for second. NGR Cuddles, he's currently holding third, but no hot lap on the board there. So Hunty the Punty, he's bettered his time, 57.8 then for Hunty. He's still in fourth, isn't he? He's not moved up position. Bogus Begbie's moved up a spot. He's back up into fifth. Bogus. Eagle sixth then, Filian Official seventh, Bob, he's been out and come back, so in eighth. His time will still count, only 30 seconds left of quali, and Jake Carty now parked in the pits as well. So most of the guys pulled over bar Hunty, Bogus Begbie, Dragon Eagles parked up. Filian still having a rip, as is Bullseye. Again, just running it wide through that corner then. So that will be quali over. Just got to let the clock run over. We've got 1 minute remaining for guys to finish laps, etc. Unbeatable says, good luck, smash them up, Hunty. No messing about, mate. As I say, we're just waiting for that little timer on the right to tick over, and we will begin the race. A lot of the guys pulled over. A lot of the guys pulling the handbrake. A lot of guys driving the wrong way up the track, smashing into the wall. It does sometimes become a bit of a smash fest when the timer ticks over. F124 trying his best to glitch out the servers or something. Who knows? Who knows what was going on there? You're going to love last place, Hunty. What are you talking about? You qualified fourth. As long as you don't Hunty the Punty yourself off on the first corner, you'll be all right. Okay, I have absolutely no real idea what Discord is. My lad has sort of tried to educate me on it, but yeah, I'm not quite sure. It's some kind of chat thing or something. I'm sure he'll pipe up in a second. So your order on the screen there, I'm going to miss it in a second if I don't. Yeah, there you go. So F124 in top spot. We are waiting for the lights. So the lights are on. Waiting for those to drop. And they're off. It's a good start by F124. 1805's got away well. I don't think we've got any false starts or glitches on the start, so that's good. So Bullseye Bob moving up a spot. Let's just check back back up to the front so we don't miss any action. F124 then still leading the way out the first corner and towards the S's. 18.05, half a second back, 0.4 of a second back really. In second place, NGR Cuddles then still holding third, but he has just been overtaken by Hunty the Punty down the inside. Oh, they are side by side through there. Hunty the Punty then he's had to drop back. He's now fighting Bogus Begbie. Bogus Begbie down the inside of him. Oh, and he's put his wheels on the grass. Hold it together, Punty. Jump off you, mate. So Dragon Eagle then up into fourth. Vilian Official fifth. He's chasing down Dragon Eagle as well, so 0.2 of a second back. Getting a bit of a toe down here. Dragon Eagle has managed to extend that gap though, so he's had a good run down there. Bullseye Bob closing the gap on Vilian now though. So Bullseye in sixth. Jake Carty just holding a bit of a penalty, trying to lose that around that first corner. Who's that just run wide? Oh, so Jake Carty running wide, and Bullseye Bob as well. Jake Carty just managing to keep it on track. Bullseye Bob not quite so much. So we're going to lose that place to Hunty the Punty and Bogus Begbie as well by the look of it. So down to 9th place for Bullseye, unfortunate, but plenty of time left. He's still on the back of this little fight. So back up to the front, F124 still being chased pretty closely by 18.05, and he's got NGR Cuddles for company as well. So let us go on board with F124 and look at it from his perspective coming down the start-finish straights. So 18.05 then closing down on him into this first corner. He's looking like he might make a move, not quite able to do it. NGR Cuddles then in the background, also looking to make a move into the S's. Still some close racing between these three. Gap is tiny, 0.3, 0.4 of a second between F124 and 18.05, and 0.3 of a second between 18.05 and Cuddles. So some close racing for this first place at the minute. NGR Cuddles taking a nice tight line through there, closing up on the back of 18.05, so he'll get a good run down the start-finish straight. F124 just opened up that gap a little bit, but now being closed down due to the slipstream. NGR Cuddles as well, closing that gap on 18.05, but I don't think he's close enough to make a move into the first corner. Quite so. F124 then he's got 18.05 closing the gap. Fastest sector by 18.05 as well. So just losing Cuddles a little bit through that section. So we'll just flick through the order. So Cuddles into third, then just on the back of the guys in front. Dragon Eagle in fourth. He's got Vilian Official just half a second back as well. And there's a fair old gap from Vilian Official back to Bogus Begbie, 4.5 seconds. Bullseye Bob, he's 3.7 seconds back from Bogus Begbie. And then Jake Carty, 1.5 back. Hunty the Punty, he's got half a second gap to him, but he'll get a bit of a toe down here. That gap coming down already. Stay in the slipstream, Hunty. So yeah, that gap coming down. Will Hunty make a dive into this first corner? He's looking like it. Both kept it clean. Hunty the Punty nearly losing the back end then, so I think that's Vilian Official. Oh sorry, it's Bogus Begbie who's just gone off track in the background, so that pops him down into 9th, allowing Hunty and Jake to take that place off him. On Bob as well. So Hunty the Punty then taking that 7th place off of Jake Carty. And Bogus Begbie we've just seen spinning off track, so that puts him down at the back of the pack. So still a pretty close fight at the front. That gap again, only 0.3 of a second between F124. NGR Cuddles still in the fight. 18.05's run wide. That's going to compromise him. NGR Cuddles then side by side into here. But 18.05 will have the inside line. Cuddles is making a move. He's amazing. I don't know how he made that stick, but he made it stick. NGR Cuddles, I'll give that to you, my friend. That was a damn good drive. That was a damn good drive, but 1805 is not letting that lie, so looking for the lines to take him back. So he's real close to him on the start-finish straight. Will he be able to make a move into the first corner? He's only 0.2 of a second already. That was a move and a half. Like I say, I don't know how he made it stick through that second part of the S's, but he did. 1805 then not able to make a move on Cuddles then to regain that place. But this battling has allowed F124 to extend his gap. He's 0.7 of a second up the road now, nearly 0.8 of a second. Cuddles will be looking to reduce that gap. But, if 1805's got anything to do with it, that won't happen. He probably will have to go defensive once or twice, and that will slow his lap times down. So Dragon Eagle's still under some pressure from Vilian. Both keeping it clean, staying on track. It's almost halfway through this first race of this evening. Dragon Eagle doing a good job then, half a second back, 0.4 of a second back, sorry, to Vilian. Onto the punty then up into 6th. He's got past Boonseye. There's a 10.7 second deficit up to Vilian in 5th. So a fair bit of work to do if he's looking to close that gap in 7.5 minutes. So Boonseye Bob then just being overtaken by Hunty. Losing a bit of time to Hunty as well. We're down into 7th for Boonseye. Jake Carty then in 8th. Bogus Begbie's dived in the pits. So I'm not sure what's going on there. So F124, oh, I don't know what's happened here. Maybe F124 and 1805 got into a bit of a tumble. I think I've missed that. Yeah, so losing a lot of time on that lap, both those. So 103 for NGR Cuddles and 104 for 1805. So must have got into a bit of a ruckus in one of the corners. That's going to allow Dragon Eagle a bit of a sniff at the back end of 1805. It's Dragon Vilian official with him. So you can see 1805 clearly in front of him now. So let's just run through some fastest laps. 1805 is currently holding fastest with a 57.3. F124 is on a 57.364. NGR Cuddles a 57.463. We've just seen 1805's fastest lap, 57.353. Dragon Eagle is a 58.3. Vilian official is a 58.1. Hunty the Punty then with a 57.9. Still being hunted by Boonseye. Boonseye on a 58.1. Jake Carty, just watched driving wide there. His fastest lap of 59.9. Bogus Begbie on a 57.6. So still in the pits, Bogus. So F124 then, he's been handed a bit of a lifeline really. Not that he was under masses of pressure. He had managed to extend that gap a little bit due to the battle. And he was kind of holding these two off behind him quite easily really. But now 7 seconds up the road from the fight that was between NGR Cuddles and 1805, but there's now 1.8 second gap between these two. So Dragon Eagle again stood in 4th. Just managed to drop Vilian a small bit, but closing the gap then through there. Hunty the Punty then still holding that 6th place. Again still being chased by Boonseye, taking different lines through there. So 0.3 of a second back for Boonseye Bob off Hunty the Punty. Jake Carty, he's 24 seconds back from Boonseye. So he's kind of having a race all of his own, really. Boga's still in the pits. F124 going for a bit of a driftomatic. So still holding that 7-second lead over this pair. 18.05 has closed the gap on NGR Cuddles though. So this fight could still be on into the end of this race. Dragon Eagle still under some pressure from Vilian Official. It's not nice to have someone sort of that close to you for a whole race. That's all you can see in the mirrors. Just thinking about if they're going to make a move and make a dive on you. And it's kind of every corner if they're that close. It can be a bit daunting. I've had it myself for about 10.5 minutes. It's a good race though. Got the old adrenaline up. I did enjoy it. Hunty the Punty then managed to drop Boonseye Bob a little bit. 0.6 of a second gap between these pair now. Boonseye just getting a bit of slipstream through there. Not a lot, but a little bit, just enough to close that gap. Jake Carty again still out on his own. I can see Bogus Begbie's in the pit still, so we won't go and check him. We just watch Jake Carty smashing as many cones as he can. And F124 having to deal with the aftermath. Still holding that 7-second lead. Again, the closest fight really is between these two or Vilian Official and Dragon Eagle in the background there. So NGR Cuddles then being overtaken by 18.05. We'll have the better line into this first corner as well, although he's already made that move. Just make sure he doesn't outbrake himself. But yeah, he's taken that place. In the background then, Vilian Official has managed to get past Dragon Eagle now. A fair old gap as well, so it looks like Dragon Eagle might have made a bit of a mistake. Vilian Official benefiting from that, up into 4th then for Vilian. 5th place now for Dragon. Hunty the Punty still under pressure from Boonseye. Boonseye's closed that gap again as well. So again, it can't be nice to have this kind of pressure for this much of the race. Considering you said you were going to bottle it, mate, you're not doing bad. Jake Carty just running wide onto the sand. You do lose all control when you're on the sand, really, at speed. And that's pretty respectful of him, just staying out of the way. Looks like he's not impressed with this race. He's pulled over and ghosted himself. Mini for GR4, yes, I think you could be right, mate. I think you could be right. So 18.05 then, so he's managed to gap Cuddles while I've been trying to restart my stream because it's decided to stop. So 18.05 then, GR Cuddles must have made a mistake because there's almost a 5-second gap then back to NGR Cuddles. Vilian Official only 2.5 seconds back, but this will be last lap. A 50-minute counter has ticked over then. So we'll just stick with F124. He's been out front from pretty much the start. managing to fend off NGR Cuddles in 18.05 for half the race, who were in themselves having their own little fight, and that just allowed F124 to just disappear up the road a little bit. So 18.05 then coming around the last corner to take second. NGR Cuddles now in the background on the sand, so that was going to allow Vilian Official possibly to take that place. No, he's just kept that, NGR Cuddles. Vilian Official in fourth, then Dragon Eagle in fifth. So I thought you were going to lose that then, Cuddles. That was lucky of you. Hunty the Punty then taking sixth. Fair old gap between himself and Boonseye Bob by the end of that. So Boonseye taking seventh, and Jake Carty coming in eighth. And we've still got Bogus Begbie in the pits. So we just have to wait for the timer to tick down then. Oh, cheers, buddy. That's a shout to GTSV. Thank you, mate. Yes, that was a race at 18.05. That was a race. I don't quite know what happened at the end between you and Cuddles. But yeah, it was a good race. Let's see what race 2 brings. So there'll be a few minute gap, possibly. That's right, Dragon Eagle. Support Kika. Check out Facebook from NGR and MRC. That's in relation to the charity event we did for Kika, which is a Dutch children's cancer charity. I mentioned it earlier. It's a 7.5 hour stream. I did a lobby alongside Potter McPotts. CJW did a lobby as well alongside NGR Burnt Fry. Long stream, 7.5 hours straight, with pizza and coffee, obviously, but yeah, that's in relation to that. As I just watched the police helicopter flying past my house for some reason. Evening Space Herpes, if you're watching, you've just appeared on my PlayStation Turn It Up online list. He's kind of one of the first guys I met on PlayStation, was Space Herpes. He was alright. Jake Carty's left the room. As I say, there will be a few minutes gap just while people have drinks and things like that. And then we will jump into race 2. As I say, last week and this week are just classification or qualification races to put people in their correct classes. Yeah, I've got the police helicopter searching around my area for something. Possibly the naughty boys on quad bikes and motocross bikes, but where I live, if you don't hear motocross bikes and quads and stuff like that, there's something wrong. Oh, coffee and pizza. Oh, I want coffee and pizza. What's Hunty's race at end of message? I didn't see that. Let's where's Hunty's race at end message? Oh, there you go. There, I am the one who punts. And there you were. You kept it clean, mate. You kept it pretty clean. I've got to say that, considering the name. So we are just hanging about, a few minutes gap while people smoke ciggies, go to the toilet, grab drinks. Kick the cat, who knows? Don't tell Bob Bristow that, flipping it. He'll be around and skin my non-existent dog. There's people calling people out on my stream. I can't believe it. You lot calm down, alright? Settle it. Wait, I just said settle down, GTSV, and unbeatable. Alright. Take it to a lobby. Yeah, but you've got a race coming at Hunty, so I've not got to deal with you for another half an hour in a minute. I've only just got to deal with them two. GTSV's going to have pizza and coffee, you know, he's going to be bothered about that before he's going to give it up on Unbeatable. Unbeatable's going to be talking to himself. So let's just go and check in with CJW. Blamo. That was lucky. Evening, mate. How about that? CJ and I have done streams together actually in the past. We did NGR's race winners. So all the winners of last season's races get put into a 4-car, 4-track final. And was it 4 or 5 races? I can't remember. I'm sure somebody will remind me in a minute. And they race it out to the end. And overall champion takes the top spot, although it ended up being an absolute tie break. And for the first time ever in NGR history, it was yeah, they decided to call it a tie. The first time ever. So Potter McPot, good friend of mine, lives just around the corner from me really, other side of town. And Jordan, was it Jordan Hogan? I hope I've got that right. I think they both took it. So yes, we are changing settings now. What have we got? Time limit set for 30 minutes. Grid order has been changed to reverse grid. Yeah. Maximum tyres, super softs, racing hards is the minimum. Tyre wear settings is now set at times 10, and fuel depletion is at times 8. 70 litres of starting fuel as well. If you noticed in the first race there was no fuel or tyre wear. And most of the guys, I think all the guys were on mediums. So we just need to wait for all the guys to hit track. Get in the lobby, get in the room. So CJ obviously a little bit distracted. He's in the middle of changing lobby settings. So we'll come back to CJ in a bit. Well, you should have thought about that, shouldn't you, before you started calling people out, GTSV? Huh? There you go, you've been warned by Hunty as well. So just Villian out on track at the minute. We are running the same course. As I say, as a reverse grid of the first race. Up a police chopper flying around my area. I hope swatting ain't a thing in this country. Fill someone in. There you go, Hunty's gone quiet. He's getting ready for race 2. In the room. Not sure if he was here last week, so unfortunately he's missed race 1, but still points to be had from race 2. Still put him in his classification for the upcoming races. Dragon Eagle and 1805 also out on track. I know that, GTSV. I know that. It's all bants from me as well, really. But yeah, good luck, Hunty. Where is he? He's still in the pits at the minute. He's out on track now. So getting some shouts then, Hunty. As I say, we are just waiting for all the guys to get on track. There's no quali. It is a reverse grid race of the previous race, which will put the order. Let me think now. Looks like Star Wars at the. Well, will he be at the front or will he be at the back? What will NGR Cuddles decide to do with him? He should really be at the back of the pack. Again, don't worry about the times on the right. These are not quali times or anything. So NGR Cuddles then just popping up saying race start, which he's done. Hunty will be third, GTSV says. Kind of just making that official. So, order is Scar Wars, Bogus Begbie, Boonseye Bob, Hunty the Punty, Dragon Eagle, Vlian Official, NGR Cuddles 1805 and F124. So he's put Scar Wars at the front. Let's see how he gets on. Let's get that stuff on. The lights are on. It's a different time of day as well. So the lights are out and they're away. A bit of wheel spinning from Scar Wars and Boonseye, but everyone seems to have got away cleanly. Again, no issues with the lobbies. Bit of glitching from F124 there, not too sure what's going on. So up to the front, Scar Wars then still holding top spots. Look like Boonseye just running himself a little bit wide then. So he's under some pressure from Hunty the Punty. He's got an inside line through there, but he won't have that line through this next corner. And he's now under pressure from Vlian Official. So some tight racing on this first lap. All the guys keeping it clean and on track, which is good to see. So nobody running it off on the first lap so far. Good, everyone on. Good. So Scar Wars then, he's got 1.9 second gap now after that first lap. Storming away with it at the minute. Bogus Begbie in second place. Half a second gap back to Boonseye. Oh, so he's just run himself wide, as has Vlian Official. So that's put Vlian Official down to the back of the pack. He's back on track now, though. Looking like he might take that place off Boonseye Bob. A little bit of contact, but nothing too dramatic. So Boonseye Bob then down at the back of the pack after running himself wide. Vlian Official in 8th, just taking that place off Dragon Eagle. Looks like he has possibly been involved in that and let these guys back through. Who was that parked at the side of the track? Yeah, I was going to say Bogus Begbie parked at the side of the track, just left the room. I don't know what's going on there. So Scar Wars then, 3.5 second gap. Hunty the Punty then up into second. So I'm not sure what happened to Bogus Begbie. Just saw him parked at the side of the track. 1805 then right on the back of Hunty of the second back, and F124 then he's pushed his way through the grid up into 4th then from the back of the pack. Only 2 laps down, so that's a damn good bit of driving from F124. NGR Cuddles into 5th as well. Vlian Official now pushed his way past Boonseye Bob into 6th. He was down in 8th, well he was down in 9th, just got past Boonseye, who ran himself wide, and then Dragon Eagle let those two pass. I'm not sure if he caused a bit of an incident. Back up to the front. I think we're just about to see a move. Hunty the Punty then under some serious pressure from 1805. 1805 will have the inside line into the first corner. Holding a small bit of penalty though is 1805. Just losing it through there, allowing Hunty the Punty to keep that place just again. He will have the better line through this next corner. But possibly 1805 getting a good run out of there. So 1805 does take that place off Hunty then through those S's, and F124 has taken him as well. So Hunty the Punty there losing 2 places, but F124, he did win that last race, so nothing to be ashamed of there. Hunty, F124 is a real fast driver, but 1805 then up into 2nd place then. He's looking to hunt down Scuffles. As I say, it's a half an hour race this time, so plenty of time to do that. 4.4 seconds the gap. F124 will be looking to close the gap on 1805 as well. He's done so, down to half a second then. Hunty the Punty's not giving up, he's right on the back of F124. NGR Cuddles is a little bit back, he's 1.7 backs from Hunty. Unofficial, so a couple of little incidents has caused this little pack to drop off the front guys only by a few seconds really. So Villian Official, Boone's Eye Bob and Dragon Eagle all within a second of each other. So let us go on board with Villian and watch it from his rear view mirror kind of perspective. So you can see Boone's Eye Bob pretty close to him there, just half a second back. That gap will come down as they come down this start-finish straight. You can see him slowly closing in, not close enough for a move on this lap by the look of it. Villian Official taking no chances, just making that mini as wide as he can, sticking it in the middle of the track. Again, just a little bit of a drift from Boone's Eye there, but not losing enough, very much speed. Still on the back end of Villian. Dragon Eagle, he's still in the fight, but he has lost a bit of time. I don't know why it's flicked to that view for Boone's Eye. That's interesting. Well, Boone's Eye's just lost it a little bit, so it has allowed Dragon Eagle to take the place. NGR Cuddles has lost loads of time, so he's now being pressured by Villian. Villian taking that place off him, so it looks like NGR Cuddles has made a bit of a mistake somewhere and lost some time. Villian Official then up into 5th. Dragon Eagle is right on the back of him as well, possibly close enough. NGR Cuddles and Villian just going a little bit defensive though. Dragon Eagle sticking to his lines, he knows what's best. So this is the fight for 5th place at the minute. Boone's Eye Bob is right on the back of this little fight as well. That's Boone's Eye Bob in 8th. So NGR Cuddles then looking like he's made another little mistake and allowed Dragon Eagle to close the gap on him again. Villian Official's moving up the road quite a bit, so 0.7 of a second up the road then for Villian. Getting a good drive out of the corner then Dragon Eagle. So NGR's on the mediums then, that's possibly half his problem. He's got a lot of wear on that front left. Dragon Eagle out on the softs and seems to be doing better on his tyres. Not putting him through as much pressure as the driver in front. So let me just jump back up to the front then. Scarwall's still 4.3 seconds up the road. 1805. So he's under some pressure still from F124. Half a second back, but F124 just running himself a bit wide there, losing a bit of time to 1805. Oh, he's on the grass as well. So that's going to compromise his speed, allowing 1805 to make a bit of a gap on him. Hunty the Punty still in fourth. He's being chased down by Vilian Official now, so it looks like Hunty's made a bit of a mistake. And that's allowed this bunch that were fighting for fifth now be the bunch that's fighting for fourth. Yeah, you could be right, GTSV did have a damn good start. Oh, so Vilian Official running wide, and NGR Cuddles running wide as well, so spinning off track almost, and just causing Dragon Eagle to avoid him and run onto the grass. So down into 8th then for NGR Cuddles, 7th place for Dragon Eagle. Vilian Official right at the back of Boonseye Bob after that little off-track moment. He was pretty close to Hunty the Punty, but that's just gave him a bit of breathing space. And F124 now has made a mistake, allowing Hunty the Punty to close the gap. He's dropped right off the back of 1805. 1805's got almost 5 seconds either side of him now. Yeah, I think Cuddles has hurt his tyres a little bit too much. It's compromised his lap times and his speed. So Scar Wars then still holding top spot. He's holding fastest lap as well with a 58.1. So 18.05, still 5 seconds either side of him really. He's on a 58.2 for his fastest lap. Just flick back up to Scar Wars and see what the tyre options are. So Scar Wars about out of fuel as well, and he's on the racing softs. 18.05, he's got a couple of laps left. He's on the softs as well, they're pretty worn out. Boonseye Bob then up into third. F124's decided to come in the pits. So Boonseye Bob then up into third place. He's not pit, he's still got a couple of laps of fuel left. He's under some pressure for Vilian, looking for a bit of a move through there. Just putting enough pressure on Boonseye then. He's side by side with him then into the first section of the S's. Boonseye just keeping that place. Vilian into fourth then. Again, these guys have not pit. Not holding a lot of fuel though, Vilian. Dragon Eagle, again on the soft. He's doing a really good job on those tyres, Dragon Eagle. He's got a quarter of a tank left as well. Hunty the Punty then, so he's made a massive error. If you look at the back of his car there, he's got a dent and a half, so down into 6th for Hunty. He's not got a lot of fuel left, so you might see him come in the pits now. Yes, so Hunty in the pits then. Vilian also in the pits, and is Scar Wars, NGR Cuddles, so all the guys coming in the pits then, third of the way through this race. So 18.05 staying out. He's still got a few laps of fuel left. His tyres are pretty battered though. So Dragon Eagle then keeping himself to himself. Second place for Dragon Eagle at the minute. Again, GTSV, you're right. Dragon Eagle has done a really good job on those soft tyres. And on his fuel consumption as well. So we'll just have to keep our eye on these places when they go in the pits and come out. Boonseye Bob as well, stopped out on softs, but they are pretty devoed. Still a few laps of fuel left, so he's stopping out as well. F124 back out into 4th place then after his stop. 6 second gap back to Boonseye. Don't know what the pit window length is here. F124 then, new rubber, puts in a fastest lap of 58.0, so that's fastest lap so far. Scar Wars has been in, he's back out in 5th as well. So losing a place to F124 then, but F124 didn't fuel up. So he will have to pit earlier than Scar Wars, allowing Scar Wars to take that place back. Vilian Official also pit, he's 15 seconds back from Scar Wars. NGR Cuddles has pit as well, out on the mediums, 4.5 seconds back from Vilian. Again, putting those tyres through some pressure. Hunty the Punty then down into 8th after the pits and a bit of an incident, also holding 0.5% penalty as well then Hunty. So back up to front man on track, 18.05. Also we have got Dragon Eagle in the pits then. Down into 4th at the minute. We take on a full tank of gas. The Reed Motorsport Mini. It's looking like he's taken on a full tank there. Almost. So I don't know whether that will be enough to get him to the end. Vilian Official has managed to take that place off him through that pit stop window. So Dragon Eagle down into 5th then. NGR Cuddles has made a place or two up, but he has underfueled as well, so we'll have to see where that brings him out. If he has to refuel later on in the race, I think he will. Bullseye Bob then in 7th. Again, he's got plenty of tyres, plenty of fuel. And Hunty the Punty then, again, full tank pretty much. And he's got a bit of wear on those tyres, but not as much as this man. So he's got an 18-second gap, 19-second gap now to F124. So he may have played a bit of a blinder, 18.05. Oh, but he's just lost it through there. He has put himself in the pits though, so although he's lost a bit of time going off track, then it is a pit in lap. So he was losing time anyway, regardless. So let's just see where F124 is. So he comes around that last corner then, looking like he's going to take this place. So F124 does take top spot then. Scar Wars then pushes himself again back up into 2nd. As we see, F124 has got to pit again pretty soon. He did come in for tyres, but no fuel. Well, not a lot of fuel anyway. So down to 1/4 of a tank already, and a fair chunk of wear on those tyres as well. 6.5 second gap down to Scar Wars though. But that place is going to be taken through his next pit stop. Whether 18.05 manages to get that off him, I don't know, but he's got full tank of gas and he's back out on the racing softs. So he should have enough fuel to go to the end if he plays his strategy right, as he did in the first half of the race. Yeah, they might be doing that. They might be doing that, GTSV. They might well be doing that, but it might compromise them in the end. He's not managing to make that gap extend really. 6.4 seconds. Although Scar Wars looks like he's just lost a bit of time there then, so 6.7. 18.05 in 3rd. He's been in the pits full tank of gas, so he might be able to make a move on F124. Vilian Official, who Jack Spur has been following. Yeah, he's been pretty clean from what I've seen of him so far, mate, in last week's race and this week's race. That's all I've seen of him race, but yeah, he looks pretty clean. So NGR Cuddles in a bit of a punch up at the minute, so 5th place for NGR Cuddles, but he's got Bullseye Bob and Hunty the Punty fighting for that position as well. Hunty the Punty got a good run on Bullseye there, so they've just got to be careful. Generally, from the racing I've seen, the guys keep it really clean, really respectful. Bullseye Bob just diving out of the way, so he's taking that place off NGR Cuddles at the minute. So he got a really good run out of that last corner, onto the start-finish straight. Hunty the Punty, so taking that place off of NGR Cuddles. Hunty the Punty looking for a move down the inside as well, taking that place off of Cuddles as well, putting him down into 7th. Bob, sorry, just getting a little bit wrong through there, allowing Hunty the Punty to close the gap on him as well. So looking for another move then, Hunty. So he had a bit of a moment that dropped him down the pack, but he's done all right. He's come back up into 6th. A little bit of contact between Boonseye and Hunty there. Boonseye will not keep this place down here. Hunty the Punty is far too close. So it's 0.1 of a second already as they come around that corner. Hunty the Punty then looking for a second move. He pulls out. Side by side taking that place off of Boonseye Bob. Just got to be careful he doesn't run it wide. Allow Boonseye to take that place back. Kept that place then. Hunty, Boonseye Bob down into 6th then. And NGR Cuddles he's now got to defend from. Dragon Eagles down in 8th unfortunately. So 4 seconds back from this fight for 5th. So F124 then has come in the pits for the 2nd time. I don't know why that didn't flick to him. So absolutely on fumes there. Front left destroyed, probably down to the carcass. So losing a lot of places then. F124 down into 7th at the minute. He might be at the back of the pack, he is. So Dragon Eagles taking that place off him as well. Oh, no he's not. Stupid PlayStation. So coming back out in the pits in 4th then, even though it was showing him in last place. I hate you for that, PlayStation. Gran Turismo. So I thought he had all that work to do again. Yeah, it was a smart move. It was a smart move by Boonseye. So Scar Wars then taking the front spot with F124 coming in the pits. 5-second gap over 18.05. Just flick back up, so holding a lot less fuel than Scar Wars on the racing mediums. About a quarter worn. 18.05 on the softs, about a quarter worn as well, maybe just a little bit less. But holding a lot more fuel. Closing the gap, 4.5 seconds the gap between him and Scar Wars as well. Vilian Official's the next closest contender. He has got a 14-second gap back to the fight up front. F124 and Boonseye Bob closing down on him as well. So my PlayStation pad's just died. It's alright, we have power. We're back. So Boonseye Bob then. And F124 chasing down Vilian Official, who's currently in 3rd place. Oh, missed him. F124's got a real good run down here. When he make a move into the first corner, he's looking like he's going to. So he moves to the inside, takes that place off of Vilian. Vilian's just run himself wide. And F124 just getting it wrong onto this green sort of astroturfy stuff. It's really slippy. So wheels on there, it's a recipe for disaster. So through that, Boonseye Bob is now up into 4th, chasing down Vilian Official pretty closely. Hunty the Punty has got back past F124 as well. So down into 6th then after that mistake from F124. That's unfortunate for him. He was on for a good race. So NGR Cuddles and Dragon Eagle in a side-by-side fight there. Oh, a little bit of contact between Dragon Eagle and NGR Cuddles. And unfortunately, NGR Cuddles has... so he's caused himself all sorts of problems there. He's crashed into the pit wall as well. So down into 8th then for NGR Cuddles. Front end damage. That should disappear while he's in the pits. But Scar Wars then having that gap drastically reduced by 18.05, 2.6 seconds the gap. It was 5 seconds. So reduced that gap by 50%. And they also dropped Vilian Official in the fight for third as well after that incident into the first corner. So the battle for third rages on then. Vilian Official currently holding the spot. Boonseye Bob just over half a second back. Hunty the Punty's a second back, but he's got F124 chasing him down. Dragon Eagle, yeah, so he's comfortably got past NGR Cuddles, been in the pits, out on super softs then for NGR Cuddles. Looking to get back into the fight. 6 minutes remaining of the race. He's got a fair chunk of work to do, so he's 32 seconds back from Dragon Eagle. It's not looking promising for him. So again, 18.05. Closing that gap, another half a second off of Star Wars. Again, the battle for third, losing a bit more time as well. 23 seconds behind the battle for first place. Bullseye Bob still right on him. Hunty the Punty closing him down more as well. He's made a bit more of a gap on F124. Possibly GTSV, it's not my place to say, mate. I just say what I see, but it's not my place to judge. That's for any officials if any complaints come out. So that gap coming down between F124 and Hunty, then less than a second between that little fight. Again, Bullseye Bob with the pressure from Hunty, chasing down Vilian. So just half a second between these three. About a second, 1.3 seconds between them all. It should turn out to be a good fight. So yeah, 18.05 then closing the gap massively. So just over half a second for this fight. So it looks like 18.05's got plenty of juice to go to the end of the race. We'll have to keep an eye on Star Wars. He's got half as much fuel as 18.05 with only quarter of a tank. And both of the guys are putting their tyres under some serious pressure. Obviously Star Wars trying to open up the gap and 18.05 trying to reduce it. So more time being gained over the battle for third. Just making a bit of headway now then. Vilian, Hunty the Punty then up into fourth place, so possibly a little mistake by Boonseye allowing F124 to get past. But bumper to bumper then in front. F124 under some Hunty the Punty under some serious pressure from F124. He's got a good run out of this corner, so he will close the gap. But that gap will be reduced to Vilian Official as well. So still a good fight then for third. Just nip back up to the front, make sure I'm not missing this little fight. Half a second gap then between these two. Just 3 minutes left, so 18.05 putting everything into it, trying to take that first spot off Star Wars. So Hunty the Punty then up into third, but now being overtaken by F124 into third place. Is he going to take that? No, so Hunty down into fourth then. Oh, Vilian Official just made a little move down the inside on him as well. So losing another place then. Hunty into fifth. Bullseye Bob not quite managing to make any headway through there as the other guys did. So losing a couple of places there then Hunty, but he is right on the back of Vilian Official, looking to take that place back off him down the start-finish straight. So let me just make sure this is not kicked off. No, Star Wars still out in front, 18.05, still holding half a second gap. F124 then up into third. Hunty the Punty, so we're getting back past Vilian then. So 4th place for Hunty. Villian official then. So Hunty the Punty has just extended that gap a little bit, but Boonseye Bob is chasing down Villian official pretty closely, 0.4 of a second back. Dragon Eagle, not a lot for him to do now, 6.3 seconds back and only 1 minute 30 of this race. And NGR Cuddles has had an absolute nightmare during this one. So we've seen him have a couple of spins. He's ended up on the sand a couple of times. So down in 8th at the minute 25 seconds back. Looks like 18:05 is looking for a move then. So it was down to 0.2 of a second. Scuffles just managing to extend that gap a little bit, back up to 0.5 now. So 18:05 will be wanting a good run out of this corner. I don't think he's close enough on this one. Half a second back already. So this might be the last, no, I think might get 2 more laps. Let's see if 18:05 can do it. There are only 30 seconds remaining on the clock, so that will be, no, it's 1 more lap then. This will be it, unless they get across the start-finish straight, but it's not looking like they're going to do it before the timer ticks out, so this will be the last lap. Everything to play for then for 18:05. He's right on the back of Scuffles. 0.2 of a second back. Can he keep it there and make a move in the last corner? So he's looking for it, but I don't think he's close enough. So it's looking like Scuffles is going to win this easily. Then Scuffles taking that place half a second up in the end. 18:05 in second. A fair old gap back to 3rd place for F124. Did start at the back of the pack. This was a reverse race grid of the first race, so did start at the back of the pack after winning the first race. So did a fair job to get up to 3rd. As I say, I have seen F124 race before. He's pretty fast. So taking 3rd then F124. Hunty the Punty. Why won't it let me flick to Hunty? Come on. Won't let me flick to Hunty for some reason. Boonseye Bob, Hunty the Punty in 4th. Boonseye Bob in 5th. Villian official in 6th. Dragon Eagle 7th. And NGR Cuddles in 8th. So another round of super clean racing. It was action from start to finish. I don't know what anyone else thinks about that, but I love that kind of stuff. It means I taught myself to death, but it's really good. That was a good race, mate. I bet you were under some serious pressure there then, Hunty. You did overfuel a little bit, 18, but you were putting the pressure on him, mate. You were putting the pressure on him. I thought you were going to have it in those last couple of laps. So yeah, good racing all round from the guys there. As I say, always seems to be the case in these sim racing groups. The whole idea is to get away from the idiots in the daily drive, in the daily races and things like that. People still do play them, but me personally, I haven't got time for it. I'm not bothered about my driver rating or my sportsmanship rating. I'll keep it as clean as I possibly can, as with these guys. So that is another round done of the NGR CHewitt Racing Mini Cooper Cup. This was lobby 2. Like I say, there is another lobby which was hosted by CJW Racing. I'll put a link to his channel in the description below. I'll put a link in the description to Next Gen Racing as well. And yes, that's round 2. So this round and last week's round were just qualification rounds for the upcoming league. I'm not quite sure if points carry over. I'll find out and let you know next week. So that's pretty much the stream over. I am back on Wednesday for another Next Gen race. That is the Team versus Team GR3 event. So that's Next Gen versus MRC versus GTSV, sorry, SimFX, not GTSV, SimFX and P1. So that is the GR3 class. I'm not quite sure where that's from this week. Should be looking that up really. So that's Wednesday. That starts at 8:30. That is again, that's a 50-minute quali and 2 sprint races. The same setup as tonight with the minis, and then I'm back on Thursday with P1 for the Toyota Super Formula Cup. Friday off, Saturday off, and then back on Sunday for another P1 race, which is the Nissan GR2 League. That's a pretty good league, as is the Toyotas. So come check them out. I'll be back in 2 weeks' time on a Friday. I think it's 2 weeks' time on a Friday. Yes, it is. Back on a Friday, swearing and shouting and cursing people out during the MRC GTTCC rounds, which I race in. A whole lot less professional than this, I'll tell you that now. So if you're under 18, any of you lot who are listening now, close your ears or don't tell your mum you're watching or something, otherwise she might put adult filters on. So that's another round done, another stream done. Thank you all for tuning in. Just in case, let's see what everyone's saying before I disappear and cut everyone off. The Team GTSV is not me, by the way. Oh, okay. All right, okay, mate. So GT series videos, radio. Thank you, GTSV, for saying good commentary. You've earned yourself a sub. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Again, thank you, Unbeatable. Cheers, buddy. Right, right. Hunty got confused, did he? Yeah, well, I got confused. You know, GTSV, it pops up. I don't know, that's what you're called for a minute. And now I've been kicked out of the lobby. Right, so that's it. Stream done. Thank you for tuning in, people. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. I know you lot have, but anyone else that's watching, like, subscribe and all that malarkey. And I'll catch you on Wednesday. Cheers, guys. My name's Darksmoka. I'm out of here.